Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So today we've got a Kobe Bryant build, so make sure he's a shooting guard and we'll move on to the body settings. So on basketballreference.com, Kobe Bryant's listed at 6'6", so that's the height we're going to go with. In terms of the weight, we're just going to bump this up by 1 to 209 and we're going to push the wingspan to 7'1". Body shape we're just going to go with defined because that's just what I like for guards, but that's totally up to you, and we'll move on to the attributes. So one thing I will say about Kobe is we all know how great of a scorer he was. You know, he wasn't a great three-point shooter, but he definitely took a lot of attempts. You know, he took above 4 attempts a game. Probably in an era that still wasn't shooting a heap of threes. So I think in his era, that's still quite a lot of threes. You know, there's 2000s and early, 2010s. In terms of his ability to finish, we all know how athletic he was, particularly in his younger years. But I'm going to try and make this a mix of early Kobe, number 8 Kobe, and then number 24 Kobe as well. So it won't be a prime Kobe Bryant build. It'll be a mix between his younger years and his older years to try and build a complete package type of Kobe Bryant build. So in saying that, we are going to push close shot to 75. It's just always handy having close shot as a tall guard or forward or center. And at 75, we just get things like fast twitch, fearless finisher, silver. So it's just a good rating to have. In terms of driving layup, we all know how athletic he was, so we definitely need those long athlete layup packages, and we get those with 88 driving layup. And in terms of the driving dunk, he's had some massive posters in his career. My favourite one is probably the one in which he dunked over Dwight Howard. He practically jumped over a 6'10", 6'11" player and slammed it in his face. So this could easily be 92, and if you want to push it up higher to get the elite contact dunks, then by all means find a way to tinker with the build to get those. But I've just chosen to go to 86 just to get the pro contact dunks off 1 and 2 with 84 driving dunk. And then at 85 you get the silver posterizer, and then at 86 you get the gold limbless takeoff. So you will have definitely a decent level of contact dunks here that you'll be able to use, and being 6'6", that will definitely help with the extra height. In terms of post control, we also know how great of a post player Kobe Bryant was. I would have loved to have got Hall of Fame post moves with this build, and it probably deserves it. But I've just chosen to go with gold. I still think gold post moves on a shooting guard is going to be fantastic. Most other guards that you come up against, particularly in the park, where there's a bit more room, if you can post them up, gold post moves will be more than enough to score effectively on, other guards that may not have, post lockdown or interior defense and things like that won't be able to stop you in the post. Now, in terms of shooting, we all know he was a volume shooter, very volume. He shot 44.7% from the field for his career and 32.9% from 3. So he wasn't a great three-point shooter. But like I said, he took a high volume of threes, I think, for his era, and a high volume of shots overall. So I think for this to be an effective Kobe Bryant build, it does need a decent level of shooting. Of course, mid-range shot should be probably higher. That was his go-to than the mid-range game. But middies are pretty easy to hit this year, and 74 I think is more than enough. And I've left it 74 because I wanted to get the three-point shot up to a viable level. And I think at 83, you unlock a lot of jump shot animations at 83, and you also get Agent 3 Silver, which is handy to have. But most importantly, you get the Space Creator Hall of Fame, and I think that's what Kobe Bryant was really great at, creating space from his opponent. And sometimes he would use step backs, other times it was pull-ups, heaps of things like that. So it's a really important badge to have. Now, in terms of free throw, he did shoot 84%, just under 84% from the free throw line, and I've got the free throw at 81, so he shouldn't have no problems hitting free throws with the build. In terms of playmaking, he wasn't. We all know this, the stereotypical stigma around Kobe Bryant not being a willing passer. We've all seen his scouting report where one of his weaknesses was not a very good passer and things like that. But I've chosen to push pass accuracy to 75 just to get LeBron passing style, just because it's so effective in the game. And he did average 4.7 assists for his career. So he's not, going and getting, heaps of assists here and there. But for a shooting guard that's a volume scorer, I think that's okay. He's averaged over 5 and even 6 assists plenty of times in his career. He had a long career. So I've got no issues putting this to 75. Now for ball control, we are going to push that to an 85. So obviously he wasn't, ripping people apart with his ball control. It was more his footwork. His footwork was so elite. People just couldn't stay in front of him because he was so good on the ground. And 85 is still nothing to sneeze at. You'll unlock a lot of, playmaking animations, dribble animations with 85 that you can get at 6'6". And you also get handles for days, silver and quick first step gold, as you can see. Now for speed with ball, we're just going to push that to an 80. It would be great to get this higher, but you've got the gold quick first step. That should be fine to get you past the defender initially, and then speed with ball can help take over from there as you attack the rim. Now on defense, he's never led the NBA in any sort of defensive statistical category, but he has been a 12-time all-defensive team member. These are back in the days where the best players in the league were making all-NBA and all-defensive teams. You think of Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Kevin Garnett, Kobe Bryant. I know not all players are really good two-way players, but it's a shame now that a lot of the superstars of the league aren't making both the defensive team and the all-NBA team. I can think of Giannis as being one, which I think is why he's destined to become one of the greatest ever, particularly if he can win another few chips with Milwaukee. But I can't think of too many others. Luka's probably never going to get in the all-defensive team. Ja Morant maybe, but probably not 12 times like Kobe Bryant was. So it's absolutely astounding how good of a player he was. So we're going to stack the defense, particularly perimeter defense. First off, we're just going to push interior defense to a 32 because that will just get bumped up as we move other things. And for perimeter defense, we're going to push that to a 92. So at 92, we get the gold clamps. He easily deserves gold clamps. This is why, things like elite contact dunks and Hall of Fame post moves, we couldn't get those because this build, Kobe Bryant deserves gold post moves. In terms of steal, although he never led the league in steals, he did average 1.4 steals a game for his career, and that's, a career spanning, almost 20 seasons. It could be 20 seasons. I'm not sure if it's 19 or 20, but, it's 2 decades practically. So we're going to keep the steal pretty high. We're going to push that to a 90 to get that gold interceptor. She'll be a real threat in the lanes. She'll get plenty of steals and play incredible defense with this build. Now for physicals, we're just going to push speed to a 78. Obviously speed's not terribly important this 2K. And we're going to push acceleration to an 83. So you do take a bit of a hit on acceleration. It can go to 86. But 3 attribute points, I don't think you'll notice too much. And with a gold quick first step, I still think you'll be fine getting past your opponents in the triple threat. Strength leave at 42. Vertical does need to go to a 75 to get the contact dunks. And the rest will go on stamina for 90 stamina. And that's the build. So in total, we have the 21 finishing, 19 shooting, 20 playmaking, and 16 defensive badges. For a total of 76 badges on this 2-way, 3-level scoring, shot creating just monster. It's got pretty much can score everywhere on the floor, driving to the rim, contact dunks, post moves, mid-range, 3-point shot, free throw line, can facilitate and, shot create with the 85 ball control at 6'6", and play absolutely great perimeter defense. So this is a really all-round build that can do everything at a high level. Now in terms of the takeovers, I just chose finishing moves because I didn't get any shot creating takeovers. So the best ones that I chose for Kobe would be the finishing moves because he was so good at finishing through traffic, particularly, in his earlier years, and then in his later years he became even better using those step throughs and post moves. And then just extreme clamps because he was such a fantastic defender. But as you can see, you've got shades of Hershey Hawkins, Dejounte Murray, and Jalen Green. So they're interesting comparisons. I think, Dejounte Murray's defense definitely. But you've made a 2-way inside-out scorer, and we'll take a look at the badges. So, for Kobe, you've got the 21 finishing badges here. What I'll do is I'll just get to the 10-point mark. So, fast twitch, fearless finishes are great. Acrobat could be good just to get it to 10. And then from here, you can call limitless takeoff, put posterizer on silver. And you've got enough points if you wanted to add an extra into finishing to get slithery finisher on silver. Obviously, you can tinker with it, maybe add a couple more points in, or, drop some, caps down, maybe limitless takeoff to silver or fearless finisher to silver and get some post moves. Or you can just make a post layout, put back down Punisher on gold with Drop Stepper on gold when you play in the park and you want to play in the post, and then you can make a slashing loadout as well. So lots of flexibility here. Now in terms of shooting, Kobe Bryant, clutch. I don't care what people say, he was clutch. As clutch as they come. So I'll just put that on Hall of Fame. We can change that later. Volume shooter, of course, for Kobe, definitely. And then with the last two, I'd say comeback kid, because it didn't matter how far they were down, he just never gave up. That was one of the best things about him. And then in tier 3, you know, it's really up to you. You can core Agent 3, help with those pull-ups, because he did pull up a lot from 3-point shot land when he was feeling hot. You know, Blinders, of course, as a shot creator is going to be great. Limitless range, probably not reminiscent of Kobe. He definitely, you know, didn't try and pull up too far away, or wasn't hitting them at a high clip. And then, of course, Space Creator, but you can always tinker with things, drop that down. You know, not many people are using Clutch Shooter. You can put Space Creator on Hall of Fame. You know, MIDI Magician, if you want to be really like Kobe, put those midis up. You know, Green Machine could be a good one to have, but you can definitely make a really great shot creating loadout with the 19 badges. Now for playmaking, definitely just the shot creating ones. You know, Quick First Step, Unpluckable, both on gold. You've got Clamp Breaker here, Handles for Days, Killer Combos. You know, core Killer Combos, put Handles for Days on, and Clamp Breaker. You can put an extra 2 badges into playmaking to get both of these silver, and you've got yourself a really great, you know, shot creating player. You've got all your core badges that you need. The rest of them are pretty much just passing badges, which are not really appropriate for this type of build. Now on defense, you know, pick Dodge a gold easily. And then from here, it really depends what you want to spend your points on to get it to 10. I really think Off-Ball Pest is a great badge to have. I'd almost recommend putting it on Hall of Fame. Even though, you know, they're fixing the backdoor cuts, being a bit easy to bump them and things like that, stop them from getting there. I still think it's just great. It's just so frustrating to play against a person that's just got their hands on you all the time. But other than that, you know, if I was making a Kobe build, I'd probably put on Off-Ball Pest and then Menace as well. And you've got your 10 badges from here. You know, you can put an extra into defense to get Clamps gold, core Clamps, and then you've got enough to put, you know, Interceptor on silver. You know, you can put an extra 2 in here to get both of these gold, and you've got yourself a really great defender. All in all, that's the build. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a really great day.